Dear brothers and sisters in Islam and humanity, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to the show, Ramadan, A Date with Dr. Zakir. I'm your host, Yusuf Chambers, and today we're answering your questions on the topic, Qiyam al-Layl, the night prayer. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Zakir.
Wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh.
Next question, where should a woman pray taraweeh? I think we've partly answered this question. At home or in the masjid? If she prays at home, can she lead the congregation or a congregation of women?
It's mentioned in Sahih Targhib, hadith number 336, where the beloved Prophet said that the best mosque for a woman is her innermost room, her innermost chamber. And the best place for a woman to pray is her inner room. That's the best. And in another hadith of Musnad Ahmed, volume number 6, hadith number 27202, which also mentioned in Sahih Targhib, hadith number 335, once a lady asked the Prophet, I would love to pray with you, the lady said. And the Prophet replied, I know you'd love to pray with me, but your prayer in your inner room would be better than praying in your house. The prayer in your house would be better than praying in the courtyard. Your praying in your courtyard would be better than praying in the mosque where you live, where around your people. Your praying in the mosque where you live, around your people, is better than praying in my mosque. That means for a woman, the best prayer is the inner room.
MashaAllah.
And the way is hadith that praying in your room is better than the house better than the courtyard better than the mosque in your area, then mosque in your better than the mosque of the Prophet. Though the Prophet said, it's mentioned in Sahih Muslim, volume number 2, hadith number 3210, that praying in my mosque is equivalent to 1,000 prayers. That means if you pray in the mosque of Muhammad, it's equal to praying 1,000 times in any other mosque. But this hadith is mainly referring to the men, because no two Sahih hadith can contradict. So this hadith mainly refers to the men. For the woman, the best place is the house, especially her inner room. And there's a hadith in Sunan Abu Dawud, volume number 1, book of Salah, hadith number 591. Warqa, may Allah be pleased with her.
Ameen.
She comes to the Prophet and says that, I would like to have a muaddin in my house. And the Prophet gave her permission. The next hadith, Sunan Abu Dawud, volume number 1, book of Salah, hadith number 592, it says that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he went to a house after appointing the muaddin, and he asked her to lead the prayer in congregation, and the women in the house, they joined her. And the narrator says that he saw the muaddin, he was the old person. It's further mentioned in a Sahih hadith of Peac, hadith number 1922. Hazrat Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, who is the wife of the Prophet, she says that she led the congregation of the women. She was the imam, but she stood in the middle of the row. And another hadith in Musannaf ibn Abi Shayba, hadith number 4953, Salma, who was also the wife of the Prophet, may Allah be pleased with her.
Ameen.
Even she said that she was the imam of a congregation of women, and she was standing in the center of the first row. So here it indicates that the women, they can pray, but it is better for them to pray in the inner room, better than going in the mosque. But they are permitted to go in the mosque, as we discussed earlier yesterday, that praying in the mosque is permitted, but for them the inner room is better than the house is better than the courtyard better than the mosque close to them, than the mosque of the Prophet. But they can pray, they can go to the mosque. If they pray at home, they can have a congregation, there's no problem at all, and a woman can lead the congregation according to the various hadith I mentioned.
With women?
Yes.
Yeah. Next question, Dr. Zakir. Is it okay for a person who's following an imam in a congregational salah to hold a Quran in front of him whilst the imam's reciting?
As far as holding the Quran for a muqtadi, while offering Qiyamul Layl in Ramadan. And we do see that sometimes people hold, when we see the live telecast of the Qiyamul Layl in Ramadan, from the Haram we find some people holding the Mus'haf, the copy of the Quran. Is it allowed? When we realize that if a person holds the Mus'haf, the copy of the Quran, he is unable to follow that keep his right hand over his left hand, which is a requirement for Salah. He can't put his right hand over the left hand, so he's not following one of the requirements of Salah. Furthermore, it will be a distraction for him to turn the page over. You know, if the Imam keeps on reciting for him to turn, it's a distraction. Furthermore, it will also prevent him from looking at the place of sujood. Normally your eyes should be looking at the place of sujood, that's what the hadith says. So if they're looking at the Mus'haf, they cannot look there. And it will prevent them from various other actions of ruku, it will be uncomfortable, sujood uncomfortable. So it is not advisable for a person to hold the Mus'haf and, you know, while the Imam is reciting. He should just listen to the Quran, what he knows by heart. Alhamdulillah, what he doesn't know, he should pay attention and try and listen, as the Quran says that whenever you hear the Quran, then pay attention to it and listen to it. So that's what you should do. It's not advisable to hold the Mus'haf.
Okay, that's well answered. Thank you very much. Totally agree with you on that one. Alhamdulillah. Another question for you, Dr. Zakir. The viewer says, I pray taraweeh in the mosque behind the Imam, but I want to pray more rak'ah in tahajjud. Should I avoid witr behind the Imam, or should I pray the witr behind the Imam and later repeat my witr?
As far as the practice and the saying of Muhammad is concerned, our beloved Prophet said, it's mentioned in Sunan Abu Dawud, volume number 1, book of Salah, hadith number 1370. The beloved Prophet, he said that when the people asked him to stay longer and pray more, so he said that a person who prays with the Imam till he ends, it is as though he has prayed for the full night. And the other hadith of Sahih Bukhari, volume number 1, in the book of Salah, hadith number 472, which says that when the person asks the Prophet about Qiyamul Layl, the Prophet said that you have to pray 2 rakat, followed by 2 rakat, then 2 rakat, then 2 rakat, and when you fear dawn coming, then pray 1 rakat. And the other hadith says that you can pray as much as you wish. So based on these 2 hadith, the best a person can have 2 options. One is that he has to pray till the end of the Imam. He can't come away from the Salah and not offer witr, because then he will not be, as the Prophet said, he would not be like a person who's prayed till the end along with the Imam. As the hadith of Abu Dawud 1370 says, that if he prays till the end along with the Imam, as though he has prayed the full night. So the best is he prays along with the Imam, also prays witr, and then afterwards, later on, if he wants to offer tahajjud, tahajjud is the same as Qiyamul Layl. Tahajjud means waking up again. So he goes home, he sleeps, and he wakes up again. He can again pray, but he should not offer witr, because there's no 2 witr. There's only 1 witr. Or the other option is that he prays along with the Imam, and when the Imam, in the last rak'ah of witr, when he ends his Salah, this person should get up and pray 1 more rakat. So when he prays 1 more rakat, it doesn't become witr. And when he goes home, prays the tahajjud, and then prays the witr. Here, he's following the hadith, he's praying till the end with the Imam. So he gets the sawab of praying for the full night. And then he goes home, and he prays. And the witr is normally the last prayer is preferable. So he goes home, and he again prays the tahajjud, and after tahajjud he prays the witr. That is the second option, which is preferable, but the first is also fine.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Next question. How much Quran should one recite in each rak'ah of taraweeh?
There is no fixed rule per se. There's no limitation, but the Prophet did say that as much as you recite is better. We have in the hadith of Mustadrak al-Hakim, hadith number 1160, that the beloved Prophet, he said that anyone who recites 100 verses, he will be counted among those who are obedient. The next hadith of Mustadrak al-Hakim, hadith number 1161, that anyone who recites 100 verses will not be counted among the negligent. And the hadith of Sunan Abu Dawud, volume number 1, in the book of Salah, hadith number 1393, which says that anyone who recites 10 verses in the Qiyamul Layl, that is the night prayer, he will not be counted among the negligent. Anyone who recites 100 verses will be counted amongst the obedient. And anyone who recites 1,000 verses will get huge sum of rewards. So as much as you recite, it's better. It's mentioned in Sahih Muslim, volume number 1, hadith number 1697, that a Sahaba joins the Prophet and in Qiyamul Layl, and the Prophet continues, and he, as I mentioned earlier, he prays Surah Baqarah, and he thinks he's going to end after 100 verses. He continues, 200 verses, he continues. He thinks he'll go in ruku after Surah Baqarah. Prophet continues of first Surah Nisa. Then he thinks after Surah Nisa he'll go, then he continues Surah Imran, and continues praying. That means, more than 5 juz. That's how long the Prophet prayed. We also have the hadith which is mentioned in Muwatta Imam Malik, volume 1, in the book of prayer, chapter number 2, hadith number 4, where Ubay bin Ka'b, when he led the Salah, used to recite 100 verses of the surah, long verses. And the recitation was slow, so people used to get tired and lean on the stick, and many times it used to continue till close to Fajr Salah, very long. But the Prophet also said, it's mentioned in Sahih Muslim, volume number 1, book of Salah, hadith number 943, that when you're leading a congregation, do not lengthen your Salah too much, because there are women, there are elderly people behind you, they get tired, so you have to shorten your prayer. And the Prophet then continued said that if you're praying in congregation, then see to don't lengthen too much, but if you're praying alone, you can pray as much as you wish. As the Prophet, he prayed more than 5 juz. If you're alone, you can pray as much as you wish, but in a congregation, you can lengthen it, but don't make it too much. Don't go too much. It will cause a problem to the people who are in your congregation, the young children, the women, the elderly people. So that should be the size.
Be balanced, in other words.
That's right.
Alhamdulillah. Next question, Dr. Zakir. Is it permissible to pray taraweeh at home? Okay. If a husband leaves the wife and children in taraweeh, will he get the reward equal to those who pray taraweeh in congregation in the mosque or the masjid?
Praying in congregation is preferable than praying alone, as we discussed earlier. Praying in the mosque is preferable than praying at home. So for the man, it's preferable that he goes to the mosque and joins the congregation. But as far as the women are concerned, the prayer in the inner room is better than prayer in the house is better than courtyard better than the mosque. So it's preferable that the women pray at home. And if they want, they can make a congregation at home. That's the best, as we discussed earlier. That would be the best, that the women pray at home and they have a congregation. But the man, it's preferable that he prays in the mosque.
Okay, excellent. Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah khair for the answer. Well, dear brothers and sisters, inshallah, we'll meet soon after a short break.